Hey guys, Brandon, by the way, the audio guy. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the basic recording on a vocal mic. So the first thing that you want to know before you start recording is the way that your microphone captures sound. This is called polar patterns. Now there's a ton of different polar patterns. The mic I'm using is a cardioid. This large diaphragm has 3 different patterns on the back. It has omni, which is basically 360 degrees of capture, so it captures everything in the circle of this microphone. And then cardioid, like the microphone I'm using, is basically like a heart shape. So it will capture the sound that's going into it directly, but if I head out here, you're not going to hear my vocal as well as if I'm talking in here. So the pattern goes around here and up the top and around. So there's nothing in the back, stuff kind of on the side and in front, obviously. So it captures it that way. And this mic also captures figure 8, which is basically a 8 pattern. If you look at the mic from the top down, then it will capture like this and reject any sound that's coming into it through the sides. You also have hypercardioid and supercardioid, and then of course you have shotgun, which people use for filmmaking and capturing dialogue, which is basically a really narrow, so it's very directional. So if you were to point off axis, all of a sudden you would notice that your sound is shifting. The next thing to understand about your microphone is how it handles proximity effect. So some microphones kind of maintain their sound the further you move them away. And other ones, it's a really big difference when you move it away. So if I'm singing and I go, then you may or may not hear that depending how I deliver the performance. But if you have someone that's singing really close and personal and then they kind of back away for a minute, then you are going to hear that, especially in more of a large diaphragm style microphone. So you want to make sure that you communicate clearly with your vocalist. More experienced vocalists know how this goes, but if it's a new vocalist or you're trying it out for your first time, pay attention to the sweet spot. And that brings me to my next thing to know about your microphone, and that is the way it captures the performance. And by that I mean how close you are to the microphone determines how it will sound in your recording. So if you want a really intimate vocal, something that's really soft and smooth, then I would recommend getting a large diaphragm condenser and just getting right up in there. I mean, you can do it with a dynamic too. This one just picks up a lot of really small subtleties. So if you want that warm, intimate performance, you can get right here. Or if you want some really big group chanty vocals, maybe put your mic in the other room, in the bathroom, 20 feet away and have a group of people yelling, because microphones are like human ears and eyes. So if you see someone far away, you are going to perceive them as far away. The same as a microphone. If you see the microphone far away and you are trying to get that far away sound, that's how your microphone will pick it up. If you want that close, intimate sound, get right up next to it because that's how it's going to pick it up. And that leads me into the next thing, and that is to understand how much pressure your microphone can handle, or they call it SPL levels, which is sound pressure level. That basically means you can feed into this microphone this much dB before it has kind of a breaking point, or it distorts, or the diaphragm shatters, or whatever it may be. So check out your microphone specs. If you think, okay, well, I'm going to get this really expensive mic and throw it right in front of a kick drum, but it doesn't have a very high SPL, you could break your microphone. Now, don't get scared. You probably won't, but check your specs before you go and throw your mic up in front of something. And then the last thing was something that I struggled with for a really long time, and that was that I noticed that my recordings were suffering because of noise in my room or just noise in general, and I couldn't figure out why. Now that I look back, I realized I had no idea what I was doing with microphone placement. If I had just moved my mic closer to my acoustic guitar, it would have sounded more natural, sounded better, and it wouldn't have picked up the entire room. Let that play a role in how you reduce the noise that you pick up through your microphone. If it's a figure 8 and you can't change the pattern, then make sure that behind your acoustic guitar is not some wall that's going to reflect these weird reflections. Get a couch or a pillow or go into your closet so it's not picking up that back end. You have to think about these things strategically before you just say, well, this mic sucks. It's noisy, it picks up all this crap in my room. No, you need to think, how is the mic looking at all these images in the room? Other things to check for noise are air conditioners, computer fans, fridges, microwaves, household appliances. All these things can add up into your sound. If you're recording a really intimate finger-picking song with your acoustic guitar and your wife or your mom is running the laundry machine 2 floors away, you could still maybe pick that up depending how much you have that turned up. Obviously, there's a point where sometimes if it's just too quiet, you need to look at your signal to noise ratio, which is basically the difference between your noise floor, which is the natural noise that your preamp is going to pick up when you turn up a microphone, and then the signal that's coming into it, whether that's a voice or a guitar or drums or whatever it may be. Learn your microphones. The best thing you can do is take your microphones in your closet and study each of them, throw them in front of different vocalists, different sound sources, and see how they act. Too many people go out and just buy microphones because they think their microphone is the problem, when in reality, they don't even understand the character of their own microphone. Remember to sign up for the email list where I will send you exclusive content that I only send to people on that list, and also head over to itsthatAudioguide.com, and I will see you guys soon.